This show contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Movies with Ron, movies with Ron.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
Movies with Ron.
So last week I mentioned I work at the funeral home.
Yeah.
And sometimes we got to ship a body out, take it to the airport.
Yeah.
And the way they're in a shipping container, special one for a dead body.
Right.
You can't use a van. You have to use the hearse. It has to be on rollers.
Yeah.
It's the only time I take the hearse out because I normally don't drive it. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Hate going to the airport.
Uh-huh.
It's a hassle. But people want their dead loved ones sent to them.
Mm-hmm. I know I do.
So I'm on the highway. I pass a certain exit and I see another hearse getting on the highway.
Yeah?
Yeah. We're maybe 5 miles out from the airport, but there's nothing beyond where we're going besides the airport.
Right.
And he's not in a procession, not going to the cemetery. He's going to the fucking airport.
Yeah.
All right. So it becomes a race.
Yeah.
There's not, Delta Airlines is the most common, that's the one we use. And there's only one ramp.
Right.
And it's already a hassle if you're the first one there. But if you got to wait, holy shit. And I don't want to give you the wrong idea. Everyone respects the dead. You learn that in a funeral home.
Uh-huh.
We're not driving crazy, but it's still a race.
Yeah. Like a nice,
as
calm,
professional-
respectful race.
Right? So it's the highway, and I don't take risks, especially in that vehicle. But he does. So he gets in the fast lane, right? So I'm like, fuck. I take my exit to get on the airport road. I immediately get in the left lane. I passed that motherfucker. He thought he lost me. And so I don't let up, going towards the airport. I'm seeing the signs now, It's always stressful going to the airport with all the different lanes, and we got to go to the freight section,
Uh-huh.
I'm ahead of him. We reach the section. I'm going to my ramp. And I see him turn off early. He's not going to Delta. He was going to American Airlines.
Huh.
I'm like, no one ever uses them. You use Delta. And I'm like, fuck, that was all for nothing. What was I worried about? So anyways, I drop the person off. Everything goes smoothly. Takes a little while. I'm leaving, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm all done. Oh, thank God. I pull out, and I'm driving back. He's reversing out of American Airlines. He just got done. But I beat him to the quick. I was faster than him. He has to stop quick. You see those bright brake lights whoop,
Yeah.
in a hearse to yield for me. So in a way, I still got him. Welcome to episode 91 of Movies with Ron, the podcast where my older brother recaps a movie he saw from beginning to end for me and you, because we like his versions better. It's okay if you've seen the movie. It's okay if you haven't seen it. The experience is unique. So let's get it on. I'm Chris, your MC for the time being. Here with me tonight, our sound guy, Rick.
How's it going, everybody?
And here he is, folks.
He's the ball cracker, death on foot. You know him, you love him. He's Ron. Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, guys.
What's going on, man?
Fellas, say hi to Matt Hankey.
Hey, Matt Hankey.
Hello, Mr. Hankey.
And Ron, good job last week with Annihilation.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. But man, were we wrong
Yes, we were.
about Annihilation. We were talking about our favorite movies intended for a female audience, inflating this girl power persona.
Yeah.
And it turned out Natalie Portman did all that stuff in that movie just to atone for what she did to a man. We were so wrong, Candy abandoned the fucking show.
Man.
What?
Now, she says she'll come back under one condition. You listeners out there, if people leave us ratings and reviews on iTunes. So, get to it.
I heard she was actually going to a convention called Learn How to Talk Louder. You're on a podcast, for Christ's sake.
Man, I've heard of that.
Here's hoping it works.
You son of a bitch.
Okay, real quick. Kevin Smith had a massive heart attack.
He sure did.
Yeah, but he survived, so let's congratulate him. Congratulations, Kevin Smith, for losing a bunch of weight and then having a massive heart attack. Life is so chaotic.
I know.
I'm just glad he's okay.
All right, Cobra.
Cobra.
Yeah. Rick, you seen Cobra?
Send in the Cobra.
No.
You have seen it, you just don't remember. There was a week when we lived in Germany. We would rent movies from the shopette, and it was up to Mom to find us a movie.
Right.
This is the late 90s.
Go rent us a movie, please.
She picked Cobra. She was like, this came out a while ago, and I remember it, and it's a solid film.
Bless her heart, man.
Yeah. She tried.
No, dude, like, for us three as kids, our mom picking Cobra.
Yeah. We were not disappointed.
No, that is a cool mom.
Came out in 1986, based on the novel Fair Game by Paula Gosling, who is Ryan Gosling's aunt.
Ah.
No.
Oh.
It was later on a film called Fair Game, starring Cindy Crawford and one of those Baldwin guys.
Yep. Yeah, you know, when this movie was released, Cobra, apparently Stallone approached Ms. Gosling
Yeah.
and said, I want to re-release the novel with myself credited as the author.
What?
What?
Yep. And she was like, nah, I'm good.
Good.
What the hell?
And he was like, come on.
Good for her.
Yeah.
No shit. Like, what the fuck is that shit?
Fuck that idea.
And it would probably be called Cobra.
Yes.
Cobra by Sylvester Stallone.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck?
Who the fuck does he think he is?
A simple story of a guy protecting a woman.
Yes. Bridget Nielsen.
Yeah. I'm glad it's a movie. If it were a video game, man, it would suck.
Why?
Remember old video games when you'd have to protect someone?
Yeah.
You'd have regular levels, but then you'd have the levels where you had to protect the so-and-so.
Yeah.
It was always the worst. Anyways, Cobra, Sylvester Stallone's most violent movie at the time.
Yeah.
In fact, there is an X-rated cut
Uh-huh.
of Cobra that is 30 minutes longer.
Yeah.
What?
And apparently is only available in like VHS form.
Yeah.
It's not officially released.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it was so violent, Rick, and probably had, I don't know, sex scenes, but whatever.
Yeah.
They gave it an X rating.
Wow.
They ended up cutting half an hour from the movie.
Uh-huh. It also left plot holes in the movie. Like, sometimes some of the cops will just say stuff, and you're like, what?
Also starring Andrew Robinson from Hellraiser.
Larry.
Yeah. He was a comforting face when I looked him up.
Yes, he
When I
was.
looked up Cobra. And
You know me in blood.
also starring Brian Thompson.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I was trying to search for, like, a very well-known role to be able to say what this guy's from. So people would just go, oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
can't really find one.
Yeah.
He's in, like, so many movies, though.
Where he plays the strong, handsome creep.
Right. Oh, he played Shao Kahn in the Mortal Kombat movies.
Yeah. Also the Bug Man from Fright Night 2.
Yeah, I would have said that, but I don't think our listeners, except for one, knows that movie.
It was Mortal Kombat 2.
Right.
Because Mortal Kombat 1 was directed by that fucker, the Resident Evil guy. And thank God he's not in that one. Oh, man. I don't know what to think if he was.
Probably would have killed everybody on set. Everybody have a degloved face.
Everyone loves the car in this movie.
Yeah, it's a custom 1950 Mercury Monterey.
There you go.
It's like every greaser's dream. I don't understand why you don't like it.
That's true. I do not like it. But I think I've just been spoiled by all the unique cars that have come out after that. Is he a greaser in the movie?
No, not really.
But Cobra bombed in America.
Did it?
Yeah, did not perform well, but it was a hit overseas.
Oh, yes.
Because this is 1986 we're talking about here. And I've done some research. And 1986 was the peak for motion pictures. All right?
Yeah?
It turns out it's been downhill from there. I never realized this.
Huh.
Yeah. You want to hear some of them?
Yes.
All right. These are the movies people saw in 1986 instead of Cobra. Aliens.
Hell yeah.
James Cameron. All right. Pretty much no competition
Of
there,
course.
Right? Platoon. Oliver Stone.
Yeah, man.
All right. Top Gun.
Oh.
I mean, what the fuck? Why you got Aliens and Top Gun? I've only said 3 so far. You don't want your movie to come out in 1986. Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh.
Yeah. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yep.
Blue Velvet.
Yeah, hey, David Lynch, man.
People, this is easy.
The Fly.
Oh.
Yeah. Crocodile Dundee.
Hey.
Damn, dude.
Holy shit, right? There's more. Stand By Me.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty in Pink. Even John Hughes had a piece of that 1986 pie.
Fuck.
Man.
Highlander.
Ooh.
Manhunter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Howard the Duck? I admit, Cobra probably made more money than Howard the Duck. Short Circuit.
Yeah.
Labyrinth.
Fuck yeah. Dance, magic dance.
Back to School. Rodney Dangerfield.
Yep.
Little Shop of Horrors. The Rick Moranis version.
Yeah.
Maximum Overdrive.
Ooh.
Got some Stephen King there.
Fuck yeah.
This is already the greatest year of film.
I know.
I mean, where was I?
How old were you in 1986?
2.
Fucking loser.
You got more?
Flight of the Navigator.
Oh.
The Hitcher? Was that popular? I never saw it.
It was, I don't know if it was popular back then.
All right.
I think so.
Hoosiers.
Ooh.
Yeah. Karate Kid 2.
No.
3 Amigos.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Friday the 13th, Part 6. An American Tale.
Ooh. All of these masterpieces.
Star Trek 4. Come on. The only Star Trek.
Oh, yes.
The one with the whales.
The Voyage Home.
Okay.
Oh, you know, I was thinking about that movie the other day.
Yeah.
Remember how Scotty and the doctor had to go and give the formula for transparent aluminum to that guy, the plexiglass man?
No.
You never watched the movie, huh?
I've seen the riff tracks version.
All right. Continue.
Because they're like, we got to build a tank for the whales in the ship, in the Klingon ship that they're stuck in.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, let's go find the plexiglass supplier in San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
And they do. And they're like, hey, if we're going to build a tank that's going to have such and such gallons of water and be so many feet by so many feet, how thick would your plexiglass have to be? And he's like, oh, that's easy. You know, like, too thick. And then Scotty is like, what would you say if I could teach you how to make your plexiglass do the same job, but be only 1 inch thick? And the guy's like, that's impossible. And then Scotty gets on his computer and just like types a bunch of keys and gives him the formula for, and the guy says it, he reads it and he goes, transparent aluminum? And then the doctor, Bones, is like, man, we are seriously altering history here. I mean, like, you know, we could really be fucking everything up. And Scotty's like, how do we know he didn't invent the thing? And that's the only addressing of the fucking up space-time continuum
Yeah.
that is done. But I was like, I was thinking about it just the other day. For some reason. I don't know. Probably because of Cobra somehow. And I was like, why'd they need it to be transparent? Why didn't they just make it out of... Why didn't they just make it out of aluminum? Like, they're in a spaceship. They got sensors and shit. Like, It had to be clear so that they could tell the whales were in there.
Yeah.
He's like, Admiral, there be whales here.
It's not Snowflake. Now, what I love is he's like, you want to know how to make the strongest plexiglass imaginable? Use metal. The Money Pit. Yes, I'm still listing the movies.
Oh, my God.
And then a Tom Hanks thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poltergeist 2, The Other Side.
That actually came out the same week as Cobra.
Oh, okay. And last but not least, if you knew this was coming out in 1986, you would steer way clear the phenomenal American horror classic Critters.
Oh.
Yeah.
I came out in 86.
Yes, you did. More people saw Rick's christening than they did Cobra.
You were christened?
Me and Rick were the youngest. So when people were like, where's christened Rick? They weren't saying me and Rick. They were saying Rick of the christened variety.
What day last week did you write that joke? That was ridiculous.
I'll be here all week.
You know, I got a bone to pick with you. At work, there is this 67-year-old man who's like one of my favorite people.
Oh, God.
91 episodes now, and I can't get the fucker to listen to the show. Because he just doesn't care about, he's 67. He wants to go fishing. I walk into the room, and everybody's talking about Black Panther. And he's like, well, so-and-so's going to go see that tonight, so he can just come in and tell us all about it. No one else has to go see it. And then somebody else in the room is like, Ron does that as a podcast, like every week. And he was like, oh, that's what he does? And I was like, yeah, man, what the fuck? Oh, well, I'll try to check it out. Hey, could you teach me how to do it on my phone? He comes back in from lunch, and he's like, all right. Here I am. I turn your show on. I think I'm going to hear about Black Panther, and I start hearing about some asshole and his psychologist.
Oh, God.
And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, let me tell you. Yeah, that was Chris, pitching some musical idea, and he used our show as a way to copyright his idea.
You bastards.
And Jim was like, huh.
Right? Wrong.
I still think it has potential.
Sure, but you're never allowed to pitch your things ever again. Unless they're good.
Yeah, funny.
Oh, by the way, this episode, Cobra, this is by request.
All right.
Professor Ed McAllister, this one's for you. Because it's Cobra on Movies with Ron.
It's showtime.
All right, so the first thing we see is a picture of a cobra face.
Ooh.
And we see that while we hear Sylvester Stallone going, in America, there's a burglary every 11 seconds. An armed robbery every 65 seconds. A violent crime every 25 seconds. And I read that all of these statistics are like way too fucking high. But now we see that the Cobra is actually a picture on a pistol grip. And the camera pans back and we see it's his coat, 9mm.
Yeah.
A murder every 24 minutes. And then he points the Colt at the camera. And 250 rapes a day.
Good Lord.
Boom! And it fucking fires. And the slug like flies at us. And then it says, Cobra. And now everything goes red, and we just see this guy on a motorcycle driving through the city. Yeah.
The Terminator.
Yeah, it's fucking Terminator. And the shots of this dude are intercut with all of these guys walking around in the sewers underground, and each one of them has an axe in each hand. Some of them are like, cool, double-bladed axes. Like, one of them is like, he couldn't find another axe. He's got a pick. And then all together, these guys all start clanging them together over their heads. Like, clang, 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 clang. And they're all doing it, and it's actually pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
We work hard.
We play hard.
And they're doing that over and over. And we can see on the wall, they made themselves a logo. And it's spray painted, but it's a skull. Instead of a skull and crossbones, it's a skull and crossed axes.
Nice.
You got this fucking guy riding on the motorcycle. Clang, clang. All that shit's happening for like a long ass time. We settle onto a nice, calm supermarket. The King Market, if you will. The director made sure to show those weird little fucking rides that sat outside of supermarkets in the 80s.
Yeah, those were the best.
I know, man. And there's some kid like, come on, daddy. Guy on the motorcycle rides up and parks in a handicapped spot. And it's like, oh, he's a douchebag. Yeah, it turns out it's not Cobra like I thought it was going to be.
No.
So this douchebag gets off his bike, and he's wearing like an overcoat and sunglasses, and he just walks into the fucking supermarket, and he's like bumping into people like a piece of shit, and they're all like, oh, geez, man, what's going on? He's like, he's like kind of losing it, you know? He's just walking through the supermarket like a fucking piece of shit. And then some hero stock boy sees that guy and follows him. He's like, hey, pal, can I help you? Hey, pal. And this motherfucker pulls out a shorty 12 gauge. And everybody's like, holy shit!
Oh.
He points it over at all these ladies that are shopping for watermelons and fires that shit. Boom! He only hits the watermelons, but it is shot and looks like gore flying out of some lady's back.
Wow.
It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
He starts shooting the place up. He is not hitting anyone. But he is blowing up a whole bunch of groceries. And then we cut to outside, and, you know, apparently some time has gone by. Because there's a whole bunch of cops and SWAT and fucking wambulances showing up and shit. And there's this one lead cop, and he's on the bullhorn, like, hey, we are willing to talk. No one wants to hurt you. And then he goes, do you understand? Like, through the bullhorn into the supermarket. We are willing to talk. There's no more need for violence. And that douchebag inside has everybody cowering underneath the fucking registers and shit. And there's this one fat dude who's like stuffing Malamars into his face. You know what Malamars are? It's a very popular cookie from the 80s. There's no way out except by talking. Do you understand? No one wants to hurt you. We see him. It's Larry, baby. Larry from Hellraiser.
All right.
One of my favorite episodes of Movies with Ron. If you haven't heard that shit, go back and listen. The douchebag walks up to some guy and he's like, click, click. Hey, you can go. You can go. He just cocked his shotgun. He's like, you can go now.
Oh, man.
And the guy's like, no, seriously. You're free. Go ahead. And, yeah, he starts to walk away. Outside, we see the captain has shown up, and it is Art LaFleur. You know who that is?
Ah, the great Bambino.
Yeah, man.
The Sultan of SWAT.
From The Sandlot. What?
That's the only thing I know him from.
Yeah.
He's been in a billion movies.
Yeah. The King of Crash. He walks up to Larry, and he's like, all right, enough of this shit. I need more time. I need more time to get control of the situation. What control? Man, what the hell?
Damn, Larry.
Like, I just started here. And then the captain's like, call the Cobra. And it's like, dun dun dun. Inside the supermarket, the hostage now begins to run. And yep, he just gets fucking blown away, shot in the back. He flies forward and lands in a Christmas tree because it's Christmas time.
Oh, okay.
Outside, Cobra fucking speeds up in his 1950 Mercury Monterey, baby. So he screeches to a halt and he gets out and he's like, send a maniac to catch a maniac. He's wearing sunglasses, and he's got a match in his mouth.
Ooh.
Larry, like, stops him as because he's just, like, immediately walking into the supermarket. Larry stops him, and he's like, Cobra, you gonna fuck my daughter? You got a deal. I don't agree with them calling you in, just so you know. And then Cobra's like, okay. I like you, Larry. All right, any idea who this guy is? Just some asshole who woke up on, hated the world. All right, that's all I need. And he just fucking sneaks into the front door of the supermarket. And he's like slinking around. And he can hear the douchebag inside going like, come on! Yelling at all the people. Come on! I'll fucking blow your stupid ass!
Yeah.
He said that. The douchebag actually sees him and tries to fucking fire at him, and, Cobra, he's too good for that, so he just slinks off and loses the guy in the supermarket. The guy's yelling at him. He's like, hey, I'll kill you, man! I'll kill them all! It's the way of the new world! Where's them TV cameras, man? And then we see Cobra hiding behind a Pepsi display. Okay? And it is cool, man. Like, they used to do this kind of shit back then. It's a giant can of Pepsi that has like a brown rod pouring out of it, and it's spinning. So it looks like it's pouring into a giant cup. And he's like, standing behind this shit.
Damn.
Like, they don't do shit like that anymore. Like, seriously, it's hypnotic. In the fucking case behind him, you can see like bottles of Pepsi Free and Slice. You remember when that was a thing?
Fuck yeah.
And then he reaches into the case and he pulls out a beer. And he opens it up and like takes a sip. And then he fucking tosses it like a grenade. The douchebag hears it and fucking shoots at it. Like Arnold with the Predator, like throwing a rock. Then the douchebag shoots the Pepsi display and it's like, God damn it. Oh, there it goes. Last one ever. Fucker's yelling at these hostages. Come on, you're all trash. You're all trash. You deserve this. Cobra goes over and grabs the intercom, and it's like, bing, bong, bong, bong. Hey, douchebag. You're a lousy shot. I don't like lousy shots. You wasted a kid for nothing. Now I think it's time to waste you. So then the douchebag has this girl at gunpoint, and he's like, I'll kill her, man. And then Cobra fucking busts out of the walk-in fridge. Like, I don't know how he got in there, man. Hey, I'll kill her, man. I got a bomb here. He holds up. He's got a little bomb in his hand. It's like a little makeshift bomb. I'll blow it, man. I'll blow this whole place up. Go ahead. I don't shop here. Just relax, amigo. You want to talk? We'll talk. I'm a sucker for good conversation. I don't want to talk to you. I want the TV cameras, man. Now. Bring them in here now. I can't do that. While he's talking to him, he's like, pulling a knife out from behind his back. Why? Why can't you do that? I don't deal with psychos. I put them away. I ain't no psycho, man. I'm a hero. You're looking at a fucking hunter. I'm a hero of the new world. Then Cobra's just like, fuck it. He's looking at him. He's got his knife behind his back. And he shakes his head and he's like, nah, you're a disease. And I'm the cure. Die! Like the guy's about to fucking explode the bomb.
Yeah.
And then Cobra throws his knife into his gut. And he yells, drop it! Like, drop the bomb! The guy does not drop the bomb, and Cobra fucking blows him away.
Oh.
He dies on, like, the cold meat.
Yeah. I always throw a knife before I shoot.
Yeah. Cobra walks over and just pulls the bomb out of the guy's hand, like, look at this. He believes his shit. He looks at the girl, and he's like, he gives her his hand. Come on, let's go. I always like to fuck after I throw a knife. They go outside, and there's like a news media frenzy. Detective, are you the one who killed the maniac? Is this related to the night slasher? Larry's there, and he's like, that's an unrelated case. Was this all really necessary, detective? Cobra stops. He fucking turns around and looks at this reporter. I mean, did he have to die? You know, humans have rights. What I want to know is, Did you use unnecessary deadly force?
I used everything I had.
Larry's like, what the fuck is this, a public forum? Come on, get out of the way. People are entitled to the protection by the law. And then Cobra fucking, that's it, man. He goes and grabs that reporter, drags him over to the dead body under the sheet, and he like uncovers it and like rubs that guy's face in the blood.
Damn.
And he's like,
You tell that to his family, huh?
and then he fucking throws the guy down. But the camera stays on that guy, and he's like, got blood on his face. And he like wipes his nose with his fist, and he's like sniffing. And he goes, "Okay."
Jesus.
Yeah. Cobra, you're fired.
Now it cuts to Cobra driving home in the Mercury, okay? And he's like, he lives in fucking Venice Beach or something. Malibu, I don't know.
Yeah. You had rich parents.
Yeah. He goes to park in front of his apartment, and there's like a fucking lowrider Impala, like in the way.
Yeah.
And he's like, honking his horn. The guy's like, hey, fuck you, man. And then he just drives up and pushes the Impala out of the way with his own car.
Nice.
The guy gets out. What the fuck, man? You touched my car. He's like smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, that's bad for your health.
What is? And then Cobra grabs the cigarette out of the guy's mouth, but like with his whole fist, and he kind of takes some of the guy's face with it. It's like really rough. He's like, me. And then he just fucking reaches out and rips that guy's shirt.
I heard about this. Rick, it's like a totally unnecessary move.
Yeah. And then he just turns around and starts walking into his house. And the guy's like, fuck your mother, you fucking fag.
Oh, shit.
His buddies are like, yeah, you told him, man. So then Cobra goes into his apartment. And, it's kind of a shithole, but it's no Harley Stone apartment.
He pulls a pizza box out of the fridge. Okay.
Oh, God.
He goes and he sits down at the table. He opens up the box. There's only one piece in it. He picks up that piece and he cuts it in half with scissors.
I'm not joking.
He puts half of it back in the box. And then he's eating while he's cleaning his gun.
He cuts the pizza with scissors.
Man.
He lost his knife. It's in evidence.
Yeah.
I need that back.
So he turns on the TV and he's watching the news, and it's all about the Night Slasher. The Night Slasher has claimed its 16th victim in the span of a month.
Damn.
The victim was mutilated. And the thing about the Night Slasher is he chooses anyone. There's been businessmen, women, children. And he always uses silent weapons like knives and axes and shit. And he's been known to crawl through windows, cut phone lines, and kill people in their sleep. Now we cut to the city at night, baby. And there's a shady van driving around. Inside, in the back of the van, there's a guy.
He's a big, handsome creep. And he's got pantyhose on his face.
And they're parked outside of a restaurant, and they're just like watching some young woman leave. She goes and gets in her car, and then, he and like a couple other guys follow her, and they break into her car with axes and sledgehammers and shit. She's fucking screaming. They pull her out, and then Pantyhose Face pulls out this like really curvy knife that you're supposed to never forget.
Yeah.
He kills her with that shit. Cuts to the coroner's office, and there's Captain LaFleur, Larry, and Cobra. The coroner's like, yeah, 90% sure it was the same weapon. Must be some sort of curvy knife. Probably one you'd never forget. Like Stallone had this knife made, and he was like,
I want people to remember this knife like Freddy Krueger's claws, man.
LaFleur's like, God damn it, it's 16 now, and we still have no fucking pattern.
Well, maybe there's more than one killer.
Larry turns to Cobra and he goes, hey, look, this is not your specialty, okay? This is pure investigative police work, not jumping through a window. Cobra looks over and his partner is there. His partner is Rennie Santoni. You know who that guy is?
No.
Well, I'm not going to tell you, but you know who he is. Cobra looks at him and he's like,
Fucking hear that shit.
Larry says, we need to beef up my task force. I've got a task force, LaFleur's like, nah, you know what we need is some fucking interdepartment cooperation. Everyone wants to be the goddamn hero on this case.
Hey, Captain, look, I don't want to be a hero. I just want to get involved. You know what I'm saying?
They're all leaving, and Larry is like all sucking up to the captain. He's like, listen, sir, Cobra is a fuckhead, okay? And he works on the zombie squad, and he should stay there.
Cobra's like, the fuck, man?
Hey, it's nothing personal. We're just different kinds of cops, that's all. And it's like, yeah, okay, nothing personal.
Yeah. Zombie Squad. In another movie, that'd be great.
Yeah.
LaFleur says,
Cobra, he's right. You're a fuckhead. You're on the zombie squad. You do jobs no one else wants. And we can't go shaking bitches down without fucking internal affairs breathing down our necks. Yeah, well, then we lost.
lost? What do you mean lost?
Because as long as we gotta play by those bullshit rules, the killer doesn't, we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
And it's like, Cobra just joined the force or something. He doesn't know how police work works.
Why do we have to obey the law?
Captain LaFleur and Larry leave, and Larry's like, did you fucking hear what he just said? So then Rennie and Cobra go to the range. So what the fuck do we do now?
Now we wait.
Yeah, for what?
For it to happen again. Boom, 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 boom!
So now we're outside again, and the kill van is driving around looking for more.
All right.
It's following some sort of, station wagon or whatever, which comes to a stop, and then it just rams the bumper just a little bit. Now, both drivers of these vehicles are women. The lady driving the van gets out, and she walks up to the woman driving the station wagon, and she's like, I'm, really sorry. Is there any damage? How could you hit me? What the hell? Have you been drinking or something? And then the lady leans down into her face and goes, yes.
Damn.
I know. And the other woman is like, and then the fucking killers attack again with their axes and sledgehammers and shit.
Damn.
Fucking smashing her windshield, smashing her fucking face. So they kill this lady and they're like dragging her body out of her car and shit. And then this Jeep drives by and it's fucking Bridget Nielsen driving it.
All right.
You like her?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Flavor Flav.
Yeah, there you go. She drives by and she looks right into Pantyhose Face's face.
And he's like, looking at her.
And he's got this look in his eyes like, you fucking bitch. And she just goes, oh, shit, and drives off.
Oh, man.
The chick driving the van's like, get the license plate, get the license plate. And it cuts to that same crime scene, but later. And the cops are working it. Captain LaFleur is like,
he's daring us to catch him. You know that, right?
Larry goes, okay, so we dig in and we find that lead.
Forget it.
What do you mean, forget it? I am doing police work. That's what you do as a cop. How did you get to be captain? He's like the only good cop on the force, but that's why he has to be so mean to Cobra.
Yeah.
I mean, what other options do we have? And then the fucking captain goes, call the bastard. Like, seriously?
For real.
So now it cuts to the lady who was driving the van, and she's a big character, so I'll give her a name. Her name was Nancy. Played by a young Lee Garlington. Do you remember the movie Field of Dreams?
Yeah.
She is the lady who was standing up in the town hall meeting who yells out, oh yeah? Well, your husband plowed under his corn and built a baseball field.
Oh, God.
It was that lady. And she is a cop.
Oh.
So she's looking up the license plate and finds out, Bridget Nielsen. Okay. Here's her address.
Wow.
So now it cuts to Cobra and Rennie, and they're meeting LaFleur and Larry like in a parking lot. All right, gentlemen, you know all the shits and sickos of this city. Shake them down and find a lead on this brick.
And if I find him,
do what you do best. And then Larry goes, try not to waste the wrong guy, huh? But then again, what do you care, right?
How about this?
So LaFleur and Larry leave, and Rennie is standing there, and he's like,
fucking eating stuff.
hey, when this is over, I want to celebrate by punching a hole in Larry's chest.
You know what the trouble with you is? You're too violent.
Oh, me?
Yeah, it's all that sugar you're eating. Junk food, man. You should try something natural. Have some prunes. Raisins, I don't know. Try fish and rice. It's very good.
Yeah. Okay, fish and rice.
Cut them in half, though.
Yeah, we cut them with scissors.
And then they drive away. Then we get a montage of homeless people and toy robots all intercut together. And it's like, what the fuck? Turns out the toy robots are part of a photo shoot with model Bridget Nielsen. The photographer taking the pictures is David Rashi. Come on, man. He's a face.
Have I talked about him before?
Yes. He got real famous in the 80s on a show called Sledgehammer.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
I know.
Delightful man.
A fucking delight. While this is happening, we see the photo shoot and we see like the urban decay. We got this 80s song playing that's like, another hot day in the city. Like, there's a lot of musical montages in this movie, and all the songs are about like working hard in the city.
Oh, God.
And we start to see Rennie and Cobra like making the rounds, talking to all these homeless bums and shit.
Yeah.
Do you know who the Night Slasher is?
You don't hear them, but they're all like, hey, man, there's like a killer. Okay. And then, it starts to be nighttime, so things start getting good, and they're like,
going to talk to the hookers and shit.
Are you ready for the sex girls? The fine, super special, real sex girls.
Yeah.
and the hookers are all like, oh no. And Cobra's like, okay, thanks, baby. It shows him in a bar, and like he was like, hey, do you know who the killer is? And like, they all seemed like very pleasant encounters.
Yeah.
Then he's in a bar, and he's talking to a black guy, and he like
fucking grabs him by his shirt and roughs him up.
What?
And it's like, man, what's going on here?
Dang.
Like the only guy he roughed up was a black dude.
Yeah. Written by Sylvester Stallone.
Yes. We also see in the sewers, Pantyhose Face is like sharpening his curvy knife. He goes and gets in the van, and they go out to try to find, I guess, Bridget, who is now leaving the photo shoot with David Rashi. And he's like, listen, I'm just saying, you could be doing a lot bigger photo spreads, and I could help you with that. And she's like, you mean the sex? Well, yeah. No. Come on, it's not like I'm asking you to marry me. I mean, if you don't want to do it for me, do it for your career.
Hey, did you hear something?
Oh, God.
The kill van is in the parking garage where they are, and they're like stalking. The security guard sees that Bridget left her bag. So he's like, oh, I'd better go bring it down to her. And then Bridget's like, I forgot my bag. And David's like, well, see, you do need me for something. And now we see Pantyhose Face behind him, like with an axe in the air. Oh, yeah. And she's like, behind you! And he's like, what? Gets fucking killed. They're fucking chopping him and shit. They're hitting all kinds of shit in the fucking parking garage. They're hitting like water pipes. So there's like water spraying everywhere. Bridget's like, oh, fuck. And she fucking runs, goes to the elevator. Ding. It opens up. There's the security guard. And she's like, he tried to kill me. And the security guard just goes, get out of the way. And aims his gun and just starts shooting at these assholes. It's like excessive force. Like he didn't know yet what was happening. But, she was pretty lucky. Anyway, they run off. Pantyhose Face gets back into the van. There's another guy driving it. And Pantyhose Face just goes, killer. The van then hits the gas and rams right into the security guard, who dies shooting.
Damn.
And it is pretty fucking hardcore. Like, this van slams into this motherfucker, and he's just a puddle of shit on the wall now.
Oof.
That's the small taste in this movie that you get of, like, what the X-rated version might be like.
Yeah.
Bridget hides. Pantyhose Face, he's out there like hunting her and shit. And then we start to hear sirens. Wee, wee, wee. And he's like, shit. And then they just fucking leave. So, she's lucky. We cut to the hospital. Cobra and Rennie are already in the hospital room with Bridget. And Rennie he's doing the talking. He's like, hi, I'm Rennie. And this intense looking gentleman behind you is Lieutenant Cobretti.
Oh.
We're a pair of really nice guys there. We're here to ask you some really bad questions. So, what the fuck? Why are they trying to kill you, huh?
While he's questioning her, we see Nancy, the cop. She's there, and she's like lurking and watching and listening. Bridget's like, I don't know. Well, are you involved in? Has anybody been threatening you? Are you involved with drugs?
No. Well, that's and Rennie goes, that's nice. That's nice. No drugs for you. I saw a scary guy in the car.
What? And Cobra's like,
wait, what? What time was it? It was on the road. They had a body in a car. There was more than one of them. Yeah.
So now they know there's more than one night slasher, right? Cutting to Pantyhose Face. Nancy is now there with him, and she's like, she knows your face, bitch. But I got this. And Pantyhose Face is just like,
sharpening his knife.
Let me get her. Let me get her for you. And then Pantyhose Face just goes,
she's mine.
And then he cuts his own finger with his knife. Like he just
needs blood.
Back in the hospital, they're having Bridget describe the guy so they can make a sketch. And Cobra's like,
all right. You're going to stay here tonight, and tomorrow we're going to move you to a place. It's called a safe house. That's the way it's got to be.
And then they just start eating her hospital food. And Cobra's like,
hey, Rennie, you want some of this? I got something here that looks like cheese.
No, I saw some cake over there. Remember, he likes sugar.
No, you don't need no fucking cake.
Yeah, no, give me the fucking cake. And Cobra's like,
were you done with eating all this shit?
Yeah, like, I guess. Pantyhose Face and Nancy. He is dyeing his hair black. And he's like mixing the hair dye in like a hubcap in the sewer.
Oh, God.
Okay, and he's combing it in, and she's like, she's gonna wreck our new world. You have to stop her. Cobra and Rennie have now left the hospital. And Rennie's like, yeah, she was a pretty nice looking lady there, huh? What do you think, huh?
I don't know. I didn't notice. I was on the job. I was paying attention to business. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Me too.
Listen, I'm going to take this sketch. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to check it against my files at my house. Because I got better files than the police station.
Yeah, okay. All right, man. I'll see you later. So he goes home, and he finds the lowrider Impala in the way again. And he just like, honk, honk. And the fucking guy just gets into the car and moves it. Cobra gets out, and that guy yells out at him, hey, good evening, Colonel. And Cobra's just like,
you're a good citizen.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, we're buddies now.
Jesus. Cuts to Pantyhose Face, who now has black hair, and he's infiltrating the hospital. He's by himself. In her hospital room, Bridget is laying in bed. She's not sleeping, though. She's just laying under the covers.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, out from under the covers, her hand comes up, and then she smells her finger. She's like looking up like, huh? Then there's a janitor, and he's like, yeah, listening to the game. And the radio cuts out, and he's like, man, you can't buy nothing. Blah! Gets killed by Pantyhose Face.
Jesus.
So then Pantyhose Face takes his clothes and his boots and his motorcycle. Even puts on his glasses. I might add the janitor was like 3 feet tall and like 50 pounds. And this is Brian Thompson we're talking about. He gets in the elevator to go to the floor where Bridget is. And another nurse gets in the elevator. She's like, you people are supposed to take the service elevator. And he's like, And he just, behind his back, he just pulls out the knife. Oh. Yeah, man. But she ends up getting off the elevator too soon. And as she is leaving, she's like, remember the health code. Next time, take the stairs. And he's like, yeah, okay. So Pantyhose Face has like a mop bucket, and that's how he's like walking through the hallways. You know, that's his cover.
Yeah.
He walks by a nurse's desk, and the nurse is like, yeah, pretty fucking late to be mopping up, but you know what? I'm going to go see what he's doing. At home, Cobra is sitting there with his files. Okay, and he's got the police sketch. And he's like going through all these photos and his files and stuff, and he holds up
the sketch next to a photo, and he's like, And now we see from his point of view, and there's just the sketch in his right hand and a picture of a big dick in his left.
Don't touch, I'm enjoying myself. This is pleasure, you fools.
All of a sudden, he gets a phone call. Hello? It's Rennie. He's like, hey, I'm in your office. What do you want? The fuck you doing there? I got a call from headquarters. They said you wanted me here. Get back to the hospital! Cobra's panicking. He knows something's fucked up, so he leaves his apartment to go to the hospital. As soon as he walks out of his door, he gets attacked by two motherfuckers with axes. Jesus.
Damn.
He blows one away, and then he chases the other one, and just before he gets to fight him, that guy ends up falling off of a fucking building and dying. So there's that nurse now, and she's looking for Pantyhose Face, right? And, she's walking into patient rooms and shit. She walks into this old lady's room. This old lady is sleeping in her bed. But in the bed next to the woman's head is a bloody mop. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's about to pull the sheet off of the lady, and I'm sure that it was just her head or something like that. But instead, we just get a shot of Pantyhose Face's hand grabbing her ankle and pulling her under the bed. So now, without the nurse to worry about, he's wandering around the halls, and his hands are covered in blood, and he's holding his fucking knife. He walks into Bridget's room. She's got the curtain drawn around her bed, and he lifts the knife up. And he just says, before he stabs down, blindly through the curtain into the bed, he just yells out, "Pretty hair!" And he fucking stabs the bed, but there's nobody in it. Okay? And he's like, what the fuck? And then Bridget comes walking out of the shitter. And she's like, whew. She sees him and she's like, oh shit! She runs back in the bathroom and locks the door. Tries to get out through the other door on the other side of the bathroom, and it's blocked, so she's trapped. Cobra arrives at the hospital, but, he still has to go through the front desk and, get a pass, go up the elevator and everything. And the killer's fucking slamming on the door. Boom, boom, boom. And his knife comes through the fucking hospital bathroom door.
Yeah.
You ever been in a hospital?
Yeah.
Pretty big, heavy doors. Okay.
God.
And she's like, no, Jesus. Finally, it quiets down. And she's like, she's scared. And she's, listening for him. And then she sniffs the air. She turns around and flushes the toilet again. And then, he's breaking through again. She's fucking screaming. She ends up finally getting out through the other side of the bathroom, and she runs. She's out there trying to find somebody to help her. There is nobody. It's hospital. It's fucking 2 a.m. or whatever. Mm-hmm. Nobody there. So what do? You pull the fire alarm.
Yeah.
So then the hallways fill with people. And they're all like, okay, don't take the elevator. Take the stairs, blah, blah, blah. She's hiding, and we see Pantyhose Face, at the end of the hallway. In the middle of a big crowd of people, and he's like, oh, shit. All right, I guess I'll leave. So he's foiled again. So Bridget took care of business while Cobra was still trying to sign into the front desk.
Yeah.
And it just cuts to him getting reamed out by his superiors. There's the chief, there's Captain LaFleur, Larry, and they're all just laying into Cobra. He's like, well, they got someone on the inside. Yeah, well, can you prove it? Not yet. LaFleur's like, you know what, Cobra? I need you to stop making shit harder than it already is, okay? Larry says that you're withholding a fucking police sketch of the killer? All right, what the fuck, man? What is this, a goddamn game? And then Sylvester Stallone says this. He didn't say the magic word. And Larry's like, what magic word? Please. What the fuck?
Yeah. You're fired.
And Cobra looks at LaFleur and he's like, am I done here? The chief's like, hey, Cobra, do you know you have an attitude problem? He turns, and I bet this line was written by Sylvester Stallone. He goes, yeah, but it's just a little one.
What does that even mean?
What?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's just how about he says this? Next day, Cobra's in the hospital room with Bridget. And she's like, you know what's happening now? No, we don't know shit. And then Rennie comes in. He's like, okay, it's moving day. We're taking her to the safe house today. I brought a cop. She's a real good cop. Her name's Nancy.
Fuck.
She's going to help us out.
Jeez.
So they leave the hospital. As they're doing that, fucking Larry shows up and he's like, Cobra! He's just like at the hospital, like talking to people. Did you know there was a killer here last night? So he's like, hey, Cobra, hot shot. Yeah, you better tell me what happened here last night.
You know, we had 3 officers assigned to guard her. Headquarters called off 2 of them last night. Why?
Headquarters didn't do that. Headquarters didn't do shit.
Well, then who did?
Hey, you know what? It's your show. You find out. It's like, man, good cops.
Yeah.
So they leave the hospital. Rennie is driving his car with Nancy, and Cobra is driving the Mercury with Bridget. And there's like, as they're walking out of the hospital, they pass by some shady guy with a fucking skull and cross axe tattoo. And Nancy like nods at him. So they're driving. Now we see more shady fuckers in a truck.
Fucking cults, man.
I know, man. And they just ram the shit out of Rennie's car. Just take him out. They T-bone him.
Oh, Jesus.
And then they speed off and chase the Mercury. And there's even more assholes all over the fucking roads that are all shooting at the Mercury. And Cobra's like, oh, shit. So now they got a big chase through the city, man. You know, hot dog stands are going flying. People are jumping out of the way.
Of course.
Pantyhose Face, he's there. He's riding a shotgun in some white car. And he's like, you know, he's got a shotgun. And he's shooting at Cobra. Cobra yells to Bridget, hold on! And then he fucking screeches into a 180 and is going backwards down the street. And then he pulls out his other signature weapon for this movie. It's what's on the movie poster, the cover of the film.
Yeah.
He's a submachine gun. That's very memorable. It's a Yatomatic. He pulls that fucker out. Remember, he's driving backwards down the road, and he shoots at this car, and it just blows up. And he's like, fuck yeah. He turns the car back around. He looks at Bridget, and he's like,
Yeah. Did you see that? What I did? Did you like that?
bad guy driving the car with Pantyhose Face is like, this fucker's crazy. They and Cobra end up in an alley, and they're driving side by side, and they're fucking ramming each other on the sides, you're putting them in the wall and shit like that. The Mercury is like jumping over dumpsters and shit, like dumpster jumping. That's what this car can do. You got to see this movie, man.
Jeez.
They end up in a parking garage. Cobra ends up on the second floor, and the other guys, they're like, oh shit, we better stay on the first floor. Hey, this guy's crazy. Maybe we might want to get away from him now. So they exit the parking garage, and then the Mercury just launches out of the second story and comes down behind them.
Hey, I'm gonna get you now, fuckers.
They pass some 18-wheelers that are carrying fuel tanks and shit, and Pantyhose Face shoots them, blows them all up. It is like hellfire on earth.
Cobra fucking speeds through that shit.
And he flips the switch for the nitrous. He is not losing these assholes.
Uh-oh.
He's shooting at them. Both cars are fucking jumping. But when Cobra does it, it's in slow motion.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Now they end up in a shipyard, okay? And they're heading for a big giant boat.
Mm-hmm.
And Cobra yells out,
Get down!
and he crashes into it.
Oh,
Yeah, he like fucks his car up.
damn.
He loses the chase. Like, what the fuck?
So the car's done.
Yeah, he was jumping dumpsters, jumping out of parking garages, and he's just like,
He knew he couldn't get away from this boat.
so he just prepared Bridget and then took the hit.
Yeah.
So then Cobra comes like staggering out of his fucking Mercury, like,
Oh shit. I think I'm in trouble.
just cuts to him getting bitched out again by his bosses. This time, outside the office, watching through the window is Bridget. And she's just like sitting there, staring at them, and then she smells her finger. The captain's like, why can't we keep this under control? And then Cobra's like,
'Cause it's an army of killers.
Larry goes, how do you know that?
I know.
Well, this army of killers theory sounds pretty weak to me. And it's like, he was just getting chased by an army of killers.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure there's some dead.
Yes. Larry just has a hard-on for breaking Cobra's balls, man. So the captain's like, why are you moving the girl anyway, man? Like, we're in the city here. That's where the safety is.
'Cause, man, you're fucking dealing with fanatics, man. They're gonna waste her.
Larry goes, okay, you know what? Listen, everybody, I'm just going to say what I need to say. All right, I don't think Cobra gives a rat's ass about Bridget. Cobra, you've already caused a lot of people to die. How about letting her live? And then Cobra's like,
Oh, you son of a bitch.
and he fucking attacks him, and he's got him by the fucking shirt collar, and he's like, shaking him over a desk. And Larry is like, oh, Jesus, get him off of me. They're pulling Cobra off of him. Once they do, Larry yells out, see, he's the psycho. The chief's like, okay, you know what? How about we just let him take her out of the city? If he is so sure that the psychos are going to follow him, at least we'll get him out of the city. Okay? And Captain LaFleur is like, yeah, it's a good plan. Just let him go away. Now it cuts to Cobra and Rennie moving Bridget again.
All right, let's try this again.
And also Nancy.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So now they're actually leaving the city, and there's a guy on a motorcycle with a skull and axes tattoo following them. In the car, Bridget says to Cobra, so we just gonna drive until they come again?
No, don't worry. They're not gonna get you.
You think they want fuck?
What the fuck?
No, I don't think so.
How you know?
You gotta have faith.
We see now we cut to the killers, big cult, and they're all like loading their rifles and shit back in the sewer, back in the honeycomb hideout. There's a big sign that says, no girls allowed. Okay, one girl allowed. They're driving into the fucking boonies, okay? And Bridget's like, crime makes me sick. I need to poop. They go to a gas station. Rennie comes out of the gas station with like a fucking armload of candy bars. Like they are laying it on thick that he likes sugar.
Jeez. He is so expendable.
I know.
Cobra's like, hey, how about some meat?
Nope. Bridget walks out of the shitter and she's like, whoo! Fucking Rennie walks up to her. He's like, hey, do you want some of this candy? And she's like, yes. And he's like, a fellow garbage belly. And then Cobra looks over like,
Oh, man. They should have like prunes, you know?
Bridget, still talking to Rennie, is like, where we go to? I don't know. Why don't you ask Cobra? Yeah, he's the expert in all this stuff. He don't look like. No, he's the pride of the zombie squad. What? The zombie squad. Jesus, get a hearing aid. And Rennie's like, hey, you want to have some fun? And she's like, sex? And he's like, no. You walk up to Cobra and you call him, and then he whispers into her ear. He likes that.
Uh-oh.
It might be a little personal, but, it'll probably cheer him up. Then she just smiles and walks over to Cobra. She's like smelling her finger on the way. Cobra is at some like little stand that's selling toys and shit. And he's like holding up a bobblehead. He's like making it move.
And he's like moving his head too. Like, like I'm a human being.
He holds it up to the lady that's working the stand, and he's like,
hot item, yeah.
Bridget walks up and she's like, you find out anything now?
Not since you were in the shitter, no.
I did.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Marion Cobretti.
All right.
That your name for real? And Cobra looks genuinely hurt. It's probably the best acting Stallone's ever done in his life.
Yeah.
Like in his heart. He's like,
Shit. Yeah, it's tough growing up with that name.
I like.
Yeah, I always wanted a tougher one, though,
Like what?
Alice.
You charming.
We better go.
He puts the bobblehead down and he looks at the lady and he's like,
Sorry, no sale.
and the lady is just like, yeah, thanks.
Fucking seriously.
I'm in the middle of nowhere and I can't eat today. Back at the honeycomb hideout, the axe cult is like doing their clang, clang thing again, getting pumped up.
All right, here we go.
So they stop at like a roadside greasy spoon restaurant. And inside there, we just see Bridget just sitting at the table, looking at her fries and like squirting ketchup onto her fries. And she just keeps squirting it. And it's just like a giant puddle of ketchup on her fries. Like it's no longer fries.
Oh, jeez.
Cobra sees it and he's like,
that costs money.
And then she just picks up a spoon and starts eating the ketchup. And she looks at him like, what? There's a giant statue of a burger on the bar. And Cobra picks it up.
He's like, I'm going to flirt. And he goes over and he's like, your entree is ready. I'm a human being,
And she's like, He looks at her plate and he's like,
You got a life preserver?
Why?
Because your french fry is drowning.
I like this. So, what you do to relax?
Look for trouble.
While he's talking to her, he looks over at the end of the restaurant and there's Nancy like making a phone call and looking at him. You ever get involved?
What, like with a woman?
Yeah. Or dude, if you like that.
Now and then. But usually they can't put up with my shit.
What about me? She smells her finger.
He's like, you're fucking crazy. Eat your ketchup.
Now we see the cult is moving out, baby. Trucks, motorcycles, lots of motorcycles, okay? 'Cause tonight, they're at a motel. Rennie is like laying in the bed. He's like loading his gun, puts it beside himself, and then he lays down to go to sleep. Like he's like, I love it when we're moving guys and, witnesses, because I can just fucking slack off. Nancy is outside in a phone booth making another phone call, and Cobra catches her. She's like, oh, God, you scared me.
Yeah, why didn't you use the phone in your room?
It's out of order.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody hates you, Cobra, but I just want to say I think you're doing a really great job.
Yeah. Yeah, you too. I like Nancy. She's a good cop.
Now he's in his hotel room, and he's like,
opening up a big silver case, and he starts setting out guns and hand grenades.
Jesus.
He's getting ready to defend the motel.
We see Bridget in bed. She can't sleep. Cobra then begins assembling his Yatomatic. And he puts this big, ugly 80s laser sight on it. Like, huge. Okay? It's like half the gun. This is a big sequence when he's like assembling it because the Yatomatic actually opens up like a stapler. It's fucking weird looking. So he's racking it and clanging and shit. And Bridget, it gets her attention. She sits up and she's just like watching him with his gun. Now we get him assembling it more. Like, it takes a long time for him to do this shit.
Jeez.
And then all of us, like, when he's done, he's done because he, like,
Turns to the mirror.
and he points it at the mirror and he activates the laser sight. And it's pointing, like, at his heart.
Like, yeah. It's got a laser on it.
Yeah.
This is shit. Hey, Bridget. Can't you sleep?
Not really?
You should try.
No shit. Hey, you come here on bed.
I'm a virgin!
Won't hurt ya.
Sure, why not? I guess I'll be pretty safe.
What?
Nothing.
So he sits down on the bed next to her. And she's like, we gonna get together after case closed?
You think that's a good idea?
Good idea, yeah.
I better go check the window.
And then she just grabs him and pulls him to her and fucking kisses him. And then they start making out. And the fucking 80s music fucking playing like, two become one when the dick is in the butt. Now we see Nancy in bed. And she's like sleeping, right? And then her eyes just open. Like, oh shit, the attack is coming. And then it just cuts to the morning. Nothing happened. Cobra and Bridget walk outside, and there's Rennie. Good morning.
Rennie, go check on Nancy, see what the fuck, why is she here?
Rennie goes. Bridget's like, what's wrong with you? You look mad.
I always look like this before breakfast.
Rennie comes back. Hey, man, she's gone. Nancy's gone.
What the fuck?
And then boom, 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 boom. The fucking bad guys arrive. The cult rides in.
Shit.
They look across the parking lot, and there's Nancy, like, running out of a building, running up to the cult and pointing at Cobra, like, that's him. Cobra yells at Bridget,
Get inside!
Rennie goes, man, I never liked that bitch. Inside, Cobra is preparing for this big standoff. And he's like watching more of these cult members fucking roll in. There's got to be like at least 100 of them, right? And they all fucking start shooting into the house. Cobra pulls out his Colt and he like fucking breaks a hole in the window and he points it out there and he says,
Chief told me to do this by the book. Trouble is, I'm illiterate.
So they're all fucking shooting each other now. There's like Molotov cocktails being thrown and shit. And it's like, whoa, motherfucker. Everything's fucking burning. Cobra's blowing motherfuckers away. They start coming into the house. Okay, one of them is like on the skylight. And he's like, trying to fucking open the window. Cobra just walks over there, points the automatic up there, and just shoots him. The guy falls through. Fucking bullets are flying everywhere. A motorcycle fucking crashes through the front door. Fucking Cobra blows that guy away. We see Bridget like crawling over to the phone and she picks it up. She's like, hello? Bridget and Cobra run out of the house and they escape into a pickup truck. Rennie is still in the house. The house is now burning down. And he's like in there like coughing from the smoke. He jumps out of a window. And he stands up and he's like pulling his gun out. He's getting ready to help with the fight. And all of a sudden he gets shot in the leg. And this motherfucker's leg like blows him to the side and he hits the ground. Like this actor did like a big ass pratfall for this fucking shot. It was great. So he starts dragging himself across the ground. Bridget jumps into the truck and she's driving it while Cobra jumps into the back. He's like, ready. And then Bridget just drives away. They like leave Rennie to his fate.
Fuck.
Cobra's got the automatic, and he is fucking laying waste to all of these bikers that are following the truck. It's fucking cool. One guy fucking jumps up into the back of the truck. He gets thrown out. But he gets thrown out across the front, so Bridget immediately runs him over. Cobra's got his work cut out for him. It's a full-time job. He's got to be fucking shooting all these guys behind him. All of a sudden, Bridget sees ahead of them some burning cars that are blocking the road. This cult is organized, man.
Fuck yeah.
She sees that shit and she yells out to Cobra, what I'ma do? He sees it and he's like,
Go through it. Keep going.
She fucking rams through them. She gets through these fucking burning cars. And after that, she skids to a stop and it throws Cobra out of the truck.
Oh, jeez.
He like does a nice little recovery roll.
He stands up. He's like, Jesus Christ.
He fucking gets up and starts mowing more guys down. He gets Bridget out of the truck, and now they start running on foot. And now they are running through an orange grove.
Okay.
They're in an alley of oranges. Okay. There's like an old tractor, I don't know. And one biker is like coming down the alley, and he's like, all right, I'm going to get him.
Cobra's like, oh yeah, I got grenades.
And he fucking throws one. And yep, this bike just shoots off into the air. It's a flaming fucking fireball. Nancy and Pantyhose Face, now they're in the orange grove too. They're hunting them.
Oh, shit.
There's a foundry nearby, like in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Cobra's like, get to the foundry.
Bridget runs into the foundry and finds a security guard in an office, like behind a window. She starts banging on it. The guard gets mad at her, and he's like, God damn it, go around! And then Nancy shows up and shoots him dead. Uh-oh. As he's dying, he's like, I thought it was bulletproof. But shooting him, she also hit the control board for the entire foundry. So everything like boots up and turns on, and now it's all like hot and fiery.
Oh, damn.
There's alarms going off and shit, and now Pantyhose Face he's walking through the foundry. He's coming after Bridget, and he's like sweaty, so he's like real fucking mean and tough looking. Some more of those cult pricks come in. You know, they're looking for her as well. Cobra shows up. He's watching them. All right, so he starts like slipping through the foundry, killing them left and right, like he was in the supermarket.
Yeah.
A couple of them walk into this room. And they're like, hey, you seen this guy Cobra? We're looking for him. And then all of a sudden they see a laser sight. And they look over to the wall where it's sitting, and it is pointed directly at a grenade that is just sitting on the wall.
Oh, shit.
And they're like, oh, shit!
Big ass titty!
Cobra walks over to some big switch, and he like turns up the gas in the foundry. And there's a couple of guys walking through the furnace when he does that, so they just get flamed and fucking die. It's like, yeah. One guy runs into a room, sees the laser sight for the automatic, okay? And he's like, oh shit, I found him. He runs up to him, and Cobra has just planted the gun and turned on the laser sight. So when the guy finds the machine gun, Cobra just comes out from behind and stabs him with a knife. Yeah. We see Nancy. She's got a shotgun. She is hunting Bridget. But now there's this one other bad guy, and he's kind of Pantyhose Face's right-hand man. Like, he's usually the one driving the car for him.
Yeah.
And he sees Cobra up above on a gangplank. He shoots at him. He fucking misses. And then Cobra just kicks a barrel of fuel over, and it all spills all over this dude. Cobra pulls the match out of his mouth.
Oh, shit.
He strikes it on the handle of his Colt. And as he throws it, these two characters have their final exchange.
I'm just an actor.
Can you play dead?
Nancy finds Bridget. She fucking aims her gun at her, and she's like, die, bitch! Cobra just yells out, Nancy! She turns, and Cobra fucking shoots her. Right then, Bridget's trying to climb a ladder to get away, and at the top of it is Pantyhose Face. Oh. And he's like, ah! He's trying to grab her. She's like, eh! She's pushing her whole hand, like, on this dude's face. Like, her whole palm is on his face. And, like, it's working? I don't know. It's weird, man. Cobra's like, no! And he shoots at him, and it chases Pantyhose Face off for now. Pantyhose Face is, like, really fucking sweaty. And he's got a sawed-off shotgun. So now it is just those two, and it's time to face off. The foundry is now running full blast. So there's like fucking flames everywhere. There's sparks fucking showering. And there are giant metal hooks swinging around the foundry, okay? Jesus. And then Pantyhose Face. He's standing there in the middle of all this shit. He's got his shotgun in one hand, and he pulls out his knife, and he's holding that in the other. And he just holds him up, and he says one of the coolest lines ever.
Are you ready for the sex? The fine, fine, super special, real sex girls.
No, but seriously, okay? Listen, this whole movie is worth this scene.
Okay.
Like, I fucking love this shit. He's holding up his gun and his knife, and he just screams out into the foundry. Because he and Cobra, they're not in the same area right now. He just yells out, "Let's bleed, pig!"
Oh my God.
I know. Cobra can actually see him from around the corner. He's watching this guy fucking yell at him.
Like, shit, that was fucking cool. This guy might be a problem.
Come on, pig! Quickly, Cobra throws some poo. Pantyhose Face shoots at it, but he still can't find Cobra. I want your eyes, pig! I want them! You want to go to hell? Huh? You want to go to hell with me? And it's like, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Cobra's fucking sneaking around. Bridget is like climbing down a ladder. Like she might be coming to join the fight, you know? It doesn't matter, does it?
We are the hunters. We kill the weak so the strong survive. We are the future.
Cobra jumps out and he yells,
No.
and he's got his laser pointed right at Pantyhose Face's chest. And he's like,
Your history.
and then very calm, but just as forceful as before, Pantyhose Face goes,
You won't do it, pig. You won't shoot. Murder is against the law. You have to take me in.
and then he starts squeezing his knife and he's like,
If you can.
and it's like, all right.
Cobra's just fucking looking at him. All right, let's dance. Even I have rights, don't I? Take me in. They'll say I'm insane, won't they? The court is civilized, isn't it? Pig! Yeah, but I'm not. This is where the law stops, and I start. Sucker.
Cobra's about to blow this motherfucker away when Nancy yells out, no! And fucking jumps down onto him. She's like on Cobra's back, like trying to take him out for Pantyhose Face, who just fires at them both and kills Nancy. Like, I love it when a bad guy is willing to kill his own girlfriend. So she dies, and now they gotta fight hand to hand, dick to dick. Pantyhose Face has his knife, his sexy, scary knife, and
Cobra, he picks up a chain.
they start going at it, and actual fight music begins. Like, dun 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 dun.
Come on, pig!
They're both swinging. Fucking Cobra almost immediately loses his chain. And then they fucking lock in a fucking beautiful, sexy embrace. And they're rolling around on the ground. And there's like a big, boiling, molten vat of metal, like right underneath them. Pantyhose Face is on top of him. He's got his knife, you know, he's gonna stab him in the fucking face.
Cobra, he pushes up. Forget.
Bridget's just standing there watching this shit like, oh my fucking God, she fucking smells your finger. Cobra pushes the guy off of him. They stand up. Yep, back to square one. Pantyhose Face has his knife up in the air, but Cobra is like holding it back while he is endlessly punching him in the fucking stomach. And Pantyhose Face is just like, he's fucking taking it. Now we are watching this scene from right over Cobra's shoulder. So we're watching Pantyhose Face take all these punches in the gut, but behind Pantyhose Face, coming up real quick, is one of those big giant metal hooks on the track.
Oh, shit.
It's actually a really well put together shot. And then Cobra fucking lifts him up and puts that asshole right on the hook.
Damn.
Like right up his ass and out of his dick. And he's like, ah, 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 like over and over.
Jesus.
Cobra's not done. He fucking spins him around like on the hook and then just kind of pushes him a little. So now the hook is moving on the track, but it's like moving pretty slowly into the furnace, which is now going full blast. This guy's already fucked, and now he's gonna fucking burn, and Cobra's just like,
Yeah, just watching. Fucking watching him.
and listening to him scream. It's fucking pretty cool. And yep, as he enters the furnace, impaled Pantyhose Face like shields his face with his arm as he enters the flames. And he just fucking burns and dies.
Ugh.
Cobra walks out, you know, of the sweaty foundry, and he finds Bridget, and he's like,
You okay?
Bridget holds her finger up to Cobra under his nose.
He's like, Yeah, I smell it. Let's get out of here.
So they walk out, and we fade into shit tons of cops on the scene.
All right.
Rennie is on a ambulance gurney, and he's already he's like already in conversation with Cobra, and he's like, "You did your best. You did your best. Don't feel guilty, man. You know, you threw him on the hook and then into the fire. It's fine. You gave it all you got."
It went through his dick, though. Yeah. I feel bad. Well, that's nice of you. You gonna be all right?
I'm gonna miss the dance finals. Remember, he's shot in the leg.
Yeah.
Listen, can I get you anything?
Yeah, I would kill
for some,
What?
gummy bears.
Gummy bears.
Fucking A.
Jesus.
I'll see you at the hospital.
Keep in touch.
So the ambulance drives away, and now we see Captain LaFleur and Larry. LaFleur's like,
Cobra, you did a hell of a job here. If you ever want to transfer from the zombie squad, or if you just need anything, you just say the word.
and Cobra goes,
Well, I would like to have my car replaced.
LaFleur's like,
We'd like to, but it's not in the budget.
For real?
What the fuck? You just fucking said.
well, I'll see you back at headquarters. Don't worry, I'll take care of your toy for you. And he holds up the automatic. He leaves. So now it's just Cobra and Larry.
Oh, God.
Larry looks at him and is like, Cabretti, no hard feelings.
What?
You kind of overdid it around here. But I personally would have looked for a more subtle solution.
But that's not your style. No hard feelings.
And he puts his hand out for a shake.
Yeah, okay.
And Cobra shakes his hand. And it's like, all right. And then Cobra
Punches him in the face.
Larry goes down. He's on one of the cars.
Yeah, no hard feelings, pal.
And he smiles and says,
I've got one bullet. It's got your email address on it. Don't make me hit send.
and he fucking walks away. He looks at Bridget, who is sitting on a motorcycle. He's like,
You ready?
I guess. Marion.
Catchy name, isn't it?
Not really.
and then vroom, vroom, they fucking start riding away. Off into the sunset. But we stay at the crime scene. And we see Larry. And he's there at the car and he's fucking rubbing his jaw. He's watching him ride away. And he looks down and he pulls his shirt cuff back to reveal a skull and axes tattoo on his wrist.
Oh, damn.
And then he smiles and he looks up and the credits roll, baby.
Holy shit.
Damn. I know, right?
Wow. Didn't expect that.
Well, that's because it's not actually in the movie. But that was the original idea. And that was what the sequel was going to be. It was going to turn out that Larry was the real leader of the cult.
Oh, nice.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Damn.
So, there you have it. Cobra on Movies with Ron.
Good job, man.
Thanks, man. This was fun. I love this movie.
Yeah. Seems pretty actiony.
Yeah. That's definitely a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, the way it starts out, it's like you got scenes with people talking, but whenever the story has to move, like they have to go somewhere, it's like then they run into some axe guys. It's like around every corner there's a fucking scene.
It's like a Dirty Harry movie without the appeal of Clint Eastwood, but the action is like kind of amped up to 11.
Yeah.
You know? Dirty Harry with bad acting and better action.
Is the cult like scary? It seems scary when you're describing the cult.
They don't look scary. They all just look like normal people with axes and sledgehammers and shit. But when you think about it, it's pretty fucking scary. Yeah. And they didn't go into the cult like at all. There's no backstory of Pantyhose Face.
Yeah.
And how he was so charismatic that he built an army of fucking murderers.
That's what got cut.
Yeah. They're all talking about the new world. And remember the douchebag at the beginning in the supermarket? He was like, I'm a hunter, baby. I'm a hero with a new world.
Was he one of them?
Oh, yeah.
So, I think if you see a bad guy clutching a knife passionately, you're kind of allowed to shoot him. Like, you could have shot him earlier. At least nowadays he could have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think there's that whole, like, drop the weapon and then... Because if he doesn't drop it and he starts walking towards you, then... yeah.
Well, nowadays, cops will shoot a motherfucker and just say they thought he had one.
Yeah, that's true, too.
You know, Brian Thompson approached Sylvester Stallone while they were filming this, and he was like, hey, I really want to talk about my character. You know, his motivations, why he's so evil, and because Brian Thompson is actually a classically trained actor who never gets to use his classical training.
Wow.
He's always playing a big buff asshole.
Yeah.
All right? So he talks to Sly about this, and Sly is pissed off
And he just looks at him and yells,
Look, man, you're evil because you're evil.
Oh.
yeah. Fucking Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Mr. Thompson, being classically trained, probably sat there and took that and made it his inspiration. I'm evil because of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, when the filming was done, the actual director of the movie looks at Brian Thompson and he goes, you know, you really could have been good if you'd listened to me.
What?
Yeah. It's like here's a shit sandwich.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I think I will see this movie because I do like Brian Thompson.
Yeah.
Like,
Another member of the club.
but it's like the name doesn't strike. You have to see his face.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
He's such a guy. Like back then, he would have played Thanos.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, yes. Totally agree.
Let's bleed, pig.
All right, folks. You want Candy to come back? iTunes, Apple Podcasts, ratings and reviews.
Yep, let him fly.
We got Twitter, @movieswithron. There's a Facebook page. There's movieswithron.com. We're on all your other favorite podcast apps. It's been fun.
Yep, we love you.
Take care, guys.
Movies with Ron.
What?
We're done talking about Kevin Smith.
All right.
Man, somebody does not like Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith has like 3 or 4 podcasts of his own.
Okay.
And this one,
You want
not
him-
for him.
You want him to talk about...
motherfucker with the bulldozing.
This ain't on the show.
I'm still trying to fucking talk.
Don't you want him to talk about our show?
Okay, then, cut it. Let's all get on our knees for Kevin Smith. And that's exactly what he's depending on.